You're listening to Exploring Anime with Friends, a JMO for Real podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all major podcasting networks. I'm your host, JMO! And today's friend is my wife and co-host. How's it going today, Sarah?
Hi, everyone. It's going great today.
Excellent, excellent. Are you ready for today's movie edition of Exploring Anime with Friends?
I'm very ready for this one.
Awesome. Today we'll be exploring the world of Ultraman Rising, an action sci-fi in the subgenre kaiju, released in June of 2024. First, we will look at the setting that is set up in Ultraman Rising. Afterwards, we will dive into our main character, Ken Sato. Then we will meet the challenges that arise before him, and finally, the choices that he needs to make. And if you like what you hear today, remember to check us out on social media. Like, subscribe, and follow. All right, Sarah, so let's just dive into the setting a little. Talk to us a little bit about this world that Ken Sato and his parents live in.
So basically, there's kaiju monsters that come out and appear, and they do kaiju things. They destroy things. They're big. Even like the more calmer ones like destroy things. Maybe not intentionally. Yeah, basically, he lives in this place where these kaijus pop up now and then. And there's, of course, a government group that is made to deal with them. But there's also Ultraman.
And initially, back when Ken Sato was a young boy, his father was Ultraman. And I'm guessing that the government really doesn't know who Ultraman is. Ultraman is completely independent, and they don't know the identity, or else they probably would have hunted Ultraman down, because as it gets into the later years, you realize that the KDF, the government organization, does not like Ultraman interfering with their affairs. Because Ultraman is always there to save the day and protect people, but at the same time, Ultraman is there to find the balance, to see if there's any way for humans and kaiju to coexist together peacefully. So, whereas the KDF is 100% behind eliminating the kaiju threat completely, no matter what the cost is. So this takes us to our opening scene, where there is a young Ken Sato watching baseball on TV when a call happens. You just want to explain the dynamic of that opening scene?
Oh, it's really cute. So he's a young kid at this point. He's a Tigers fan.
Yeah, Tigers fan. I believe it's a Detroit Tigers fan. It might be a Japanese Tiger team, but I'm pretty sure it's American baseball they're watching, because they reference the name Matsui, and I think this is supposed to take place in the early 2000s, and I think Matsui's in the game that's playing.
Oh,
I actually believe they're referencing...
I didn't catch that at all.
Yeah, I actually believe they're talking about a real baseball player. I think they're talking about Hideki Matsui, who played for the Yankees a long time, and I think he was in the game playing against the Tigers in the opening scene.
Okay, well, either way, he's watching baseball. His mom is rooting for the other team, and unfortunately, she's losing, kind of. But there's this beautiful, like, family dynamic relationship that's going on. His dad's there, too. And they're enjoying the game. They're enjoying each other's company. They get a little rowdy. It's just a good setup. It's really, really cute.
And then a big alert comes through, and a kaiju is attacking, and his father suits up immediately and goes out to battle the kaiju to keep his family safe. But I think the thing that stuck out to me the most in that opening scene was when his father asked him, "Who would you rather be, Ken? Would you rather be Matsui or Ultraman?" And you could see even then, the young Ken is torn between who he would rather be, because he loves baseball. Baseball is his absolute life at that point in time, but he idolizes his father,
of course,
and the protection that Ultraman brings. As mom says to his dad, it's like, that's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's like, why not be both? It's like, and that really just sets the tone for the opening. And we're going to jump forward a few years and realize that now Ken Sato has basically had a Hall of Fame career in the MLB. He is like all-time leader in so many statistical categories, but one thing has evaded him completely, and that is a championship ring. He's a very cocky, arrogant brand.
Oh yeah, no, it's rough.
This is probably a result of something that happened. What is the thing that is leaving his life incomplete at this point in time?
All right, so when he gets older, he finally gets a chance to join Major League Baseball in America. He's so psyched for it. His mom agrees to go to America with him, but his dad does not. He instead decides to stay behind in Japan and continue working through the whole kaiju thing that's going on. And I mean, it doesn't really show us much as far as like his reaction, but that had to be crushing.
Yeah, I mean, in his mind, like, and he throws it back at his father later in the movie. He's like, you chose the kaiju over your own family. So for him, he took it really hard, and his mom became his world throughout his whole career until a fateful day. And just talk to us a little bit about how he responds when that happens.
She disappears. His mom just completely disappears. No one knows anything. No one's got any lead on her. So we believe that she is alive, but after a few years of searching, everyone's just kind of given up on trying to find her. Eventually, his dad calls him back to Japan.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because, like, it's one of those things where he's very estranged with his dad, but at this point in time, he holds all the records. He just doesn't have a championship in MLB. Like, he's the all-time stolen bases leader and I think all-time hits leader or something like that. He's got all the fame and the accolades. He has the big deal with the energy drink and the sneakers and everything. Yep. He's living the life of luxury. Like, honestly, the way it looks like he's living, he's probably made... And if we're talking baseball contracts, because in theory this is like set in, you know, the year 2024, I think, or the not too distant future, you know, this guy's making bank if you compare it to baseball contracts of today. So really, when it comes down to it, he has everything. And then his father is calling him back to Japan, and he really doesn't want to be Ultraman at this point in time.
Yeah.
But he realizes his dad needs him to be Ultraman. So he goes back and he starts playing baseball in Japan, which is very different. He's trying to get adapted to a life where he is now the new Ultraman, and he is now playing Japanese baseball as opposed to American baseball. Let us dive into the complicated character that is Ken Sato, where he is just a lonely, abandoned child in a world where he's surrounded by fame and not enough people that keep him accountable.
So at first, he's kind of a jerk. He's got a huge chip on his shoulder because he thinks he's better than everyone, and he kind of is.
At baseball.
At baseball specifically, yes.
And he said he's the greatest living player in the world.
Yeah, like he just laid it all out there. I was like, wow, this guy's kind of a jerk. But yeah, that's who he is. It's crazy when someone can say that about themselves and back it up. It's very frustrating to deal with that kind of person, and you can see it on the coach's face that he really doesn't necessarily want this type of person, but you can't argue with the results.
Yeah, like in his opening interview where he's joining the new team, he refers to it as the Ken Sato show, and and the coach is like, "We are not the Ken Sato show. We are the." Oh, they're the Tigers.
They're the Tigers, yeah.
They're the Tigers. So maybe his mother was... I'm actually not sure if his mother was watching the Detroit Tigers. No, they're watching a game with Matsui in it. So yeah, they're watching the Detroit Tigers in the opening scene. You got to kind of put it together a little. But he's now on the Japanese Tiger team, and his coach isn't having it.
Has not
But
happy.
even more, there's a interviewer in the opening scene that asked the tough question of, did you come back to Japan because of your mom's disappearance? And she's trying to get him to talk about his relationship with his parents.
Yeah.
What does that bring out in him?
I mean, you can tell he's trying to avoid the question.
Yeah.
Very, very much. No, and he's not doing that in a like next question, no answer, next question. He's doing it almost like a pseudo-legitimate way, like something else is kind of happening in the background and he's kind of trying to like look at that or hear that.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm here to talk baseball and everything. Like, he doesn't respond with the anger or the depression that you know he's feeling.
Yeah.
He just kind of plays it off. So this shows a level of callous that is built around his heart up to this point in time, to where it's kind of like he knows that parts of his life suck completely, but he has so much going on for him in other areas that he just buries the anger, the sadness, the depression that you see all too real in a few scenes throughout the movies. Like, honestly, they did a great job developing this character,
they did.
right?
They really did.
Is there anything else you want to say about Ken Sato before we start to meet the KDF?
I mean, so we basically said a good amount, but at the same time, I do want to point out that he's kind of like the showboat guy as a baseball player, but he's also kind of the showboat guy as Ultraman.
Yeah.
Which leads to like a little more destructiveness as he's trying to save people, and it's kind of making people feel less safe.
And also the other thing, too, it's allowing the KDF to have their way with the kaiju because he taps out. When he's done battling the kaiju, he taps out and he lets them finish the kill.
Pretty much.
Which is not something that his father ever agreed with. But at this point in time, he has the suit and he's taken over Ultraman, but he's not talking to his father still.
Yeah.
And that is something that he has to deal with through the course of the movie. And really, we get to see some great growth in him. But we've laid the groundwork there. But before we continue, remember, you can watch Ultraman Rising on Netflix. And if you like what you're hearing today, like, subscribe, and follow on our social media. Now, Sarah, talk to us about the KDF and their leader.
So the KDF is kind of what you would expect the government organization that has to deal with giant man-eating monsters to be. There's really not much to say about them. Their leader is Dr. Onda, and he's got a history with the kaiju. He doesn't like the kaiju. As far as he's concerned, none of them are redeemable, and they all have to be destroyed. His whole goal is to get to Kaiju Island, wherever the heck that is, because no one knows where Kaiju Island is. No one knows where these things are coming from. But his plan is to get there and just eradicate them all.
Give us the why.
It's a heavy reason. Ultraman wasn't able to protect his family, and he survived the kaiju attack, but his wife and his child did not. He's got a huge grudge against every single kaiju, and he just really doesn't care about Ultraman as a person, probably.
Oh, I mean, he has a grudge against Ultraman because Ultraman couldn't keep his family safe.
Yeah.
That's where you really find, and he's constantly giving orders. It's like, if Ultraman gets in the way of our mission, take him down.
Yeah.
Like, they have clearance to kill Ultraman if Ultraman interferes with what they're doing. And at those points, Ultraman, our boy Ken just kind of taps out every single time. Until one day, when they were battling Gigantron over the open ocean, because Gigantron was trying to get back a capsule from the KDF, and she was fighting her hardest. And I kind of get the impression that Gigantron, she's like the queen of all kaiju. It really just has that feeling. Like, I got severe, like, King Ghidorah Godzilla vibes when I was watching her, trying to retrieve whatever this was. Ultraman shows up in the fight, and he realizes that she's just trying to retrieve whatever's in the capsule. She doesn't want to fight.
She's not really on the aggressive.
Yeah, she's taken the capsule, and she's trying to fly away. And he's like, wait, why are you guys pursuing? Like, why are you guys trying to kill her?
Yeah, she's literally just leaving. Like,
and the doctor, he makes it pretty clear. Tell us what he does.
The doctor gives the orders to just open fire. Like, who cares if Ultraman's there? We're trying to attack the kaiju. Who cares?
And it more or less seems like it kills Gigantron, and it sends Ultraman pretty hurt. Like, he hurts his shoulder in this, which has to be explained when he's playing baseball suit afterwards. But he's already having some rotator cuff problems. But he's looking at Gigantron, who now looks like she's dead. The capsule opens, and an egg inside of it hatches.
And it is so cute. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Like, talk to us about Autumn's reaction to this.
Oh my gosh. Autumn, our wonderful 9-year-old, we're putting the show on, and it's really for us to watch, but we're like, Autumn, there's going to be like a little baby, like, giant creature thing. It's going to be great. And at first, she was bored because it was just baseball. Like, nothing against baseball, but she's 9 and she has no interest in it. But then this egg hatches, and she's just like, oh, in her cute little voice.
And then Ken rescues the egg and goes through underwater passages to get back to his mansion. And he's just becoming a father.
It's crazy, yeah. I loved it. I absolutely love the transformation that happens with him.
Yeah, and you're just watching him, and it's like he's realizing that he can't do it on his own. He's realizing that he can't play baseball with a hurt shoulder. He can't be a good father. He has a little droid that's helping him out at all times that his mother gave to him, and she gives information and everything about what to feed and whatnot, but at the same time, it's one of those things where he just feels so overwhelmed. So you see every area of his life start to slip. You see his batting average go down. You see him making errors in the field all the time by day. By night, you see vomit all over him because he can't seem to console the little baby that kaiju that's soon referred to as Emmy. But it's one of those things where Eventually, he remembers that the reporter that asked him the rough questions had a daughter. So he contacts her. Talk to us about him reaching out to her.
Oh, it was great. It's all started with like, yeah, this is off the record. But he just jumps into it and he's like, how do you do it? Because she's juggling her kid with her job and her life and everything, and he's struggling. So for a second there, she gives this cute comment as they're talking back and forth, and she's like, do you have an illegitimate love child? Because that would make a great story. And it was just a funny little like slip comment there, but she's just like, do it for them, you you do it, and you do it for your kids. And it's just, the conversation was actually really nice, really beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. And at that moment, Ken decides he's going to do everything, not only for Emmy to give her the best life possible, but he's also going to finally be a team player for the first time in his life. And he's going to mentor the younger players on the team.
It was so good, yeah.
And you start to see his life come back together.
Mm-hmm.
You start to see his baseball prowess returning as he's helping the team get better. And the team goes from a last place team to a team that's making the playoffs. And Emmy is growing up happy. And she's growing, and she's learning. He's teaching her. He's
baseball?
potty training her.
Teaching her baseball.
Yeah, talk to us about teaching her baseball.
So cute. So in his secret lair, I don't know what else to call it. There's like holograms that are set up, and
yeah, right.
It's so great,
dude is hot baseball hologram inside your house, Rich.
Yes, that's how rich he is, and he literally like just throws the baseball field up there, gives Emmy a bat, and like they're playing baseball together, and it's so cute.
Oh my goodness, so adorable. Yeah. But, really when it comes down to it, it's life has turned itself around, but he hasn't quite yet brought his father back into it.
Yeah. There was a chance that he could have, but he just kind of just threw it in his dad's face.
So, though he's growing and learning, he hasn't forgiven yet, which, by the way, that's asking a lot for him to forgive. He can,
it is a lot,
he can incredibly mature without ever forgiving him. Like, this is, his father chose his kaiju research over his family. That's not a good dad.
Yeah.
So it's a great scientist.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make him a bad person. Like, it probably makes him a good person. Like,
the many over the few kind of thing.
Yeah. But it doesn't make him a bad person at the very least. But it makes him a terrible father.
Yeah, it does.
And all of this starts to change one major day when Emmy gets out of the mansion. Talk to us about that.
So like you said, Emmy gets out. And okay, so I gotta backtrack just for 1 second. When Emmy hatches, and Ultraman is holding her, she's this cute little thing in his hands. And I was like, how adorable. How big is she that he's like supersized giant holding her? Like, how big is she actually? Like, it threw me off. So she's still like a toddler, but she's the size of freaking buildings. And she gets out. And as far as all the people are concerned, a kaiju's a kaiju. They don't know that this is a baby kaiju. Yeah. They just know it's a kaiju. So people are screaming and running and stuff like that. And Emmy's just having it cute all the time, having fun running around. And she sees the reporter's daughter wearing the Ultraman mask. And since Emmy hatched, she imprinted. So when she sees Ultraman, and now when she sees Ken, that's Daddy. So she sees this little kid wearing the Ultraman mask, and she's just like thinking to herself, I'm sure, that's Daddy, as she starts chasing them.
Well, the whole thing when she first gets out of the mansion because Daddy's not around, she sees his face on a big blimp in the sky
flying away,
promoting this energy drink. So she starts following the blimp. That's how she ends up in the town.
That is how she ended up in the town.
And at this point in time, she's on the KDF radar.
Yep.
Ultraman saves her and brings her back to his place. But at this point in time, his place is destroyed and a tracker is on her. Ken realizes he has to go to his father for help because little Emmy has a broken arm. She broke it in the exchange. Ken caught her to save her life.
She was climbing up a building.
But it kind of like dislocated her arm a little. So it was one of those things where he realized he needed help at that point in time, so he seeks out his father.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of them go into one safe house after another in order to protect the little Emmy. But inevitably, they can't do it forever because one tragic day, Mecha Gigantron comes back. They did work on Gigantron and made it into Mecha Gigantron, and she calls out to her child. Emmy goes off because they're trying to get Emmy to lead them to Kaiju Island. Bombs rattle through the
missiles and
Sato
stuff.
safe house.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to leave you, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where we're going to.
I think that's a good stopping spot.
Yeah. You're going to have to watch it from here. And let me tell you, it is worth the watch.
It really
This is absolutely amazing. Now, I know this is exploring anime with friends, but I do have to warn you, there is a strong DreamWorks Pixar type influence. Like the animation is a lot more like that than anime that you watch.
Like CGI stuff.
But you can actually feel the anime feel in different parts. It's like a beautiful blend of Western and Eastern, right?
Yes, definitely.
So I really appreciated the blend overall. The fight scenes are amazing. The graphics are really good. This is as good of an action movie as I've watched since Avengers Endgame, to be completely honest.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Like, where does this stack up for you, Sarah?
I don't know. Like, as a whole, I really enjoyed the heck out of this, to be honest. It left me wanting more, but it also left me satisfied with watching it. And the action was great. I'm a sucker for, like, little baby kaijus, apparently. Like, I never would have thought that about me, but, like, it was great. It had funny moments. It had sad moments. It gave me a bit of everything.
Excellent. So once again, we explored the world and setting of Ultraman Rising. Then we met our hero, Ken Sato, and we saw the conflict that he had with the KDF and the journey of finding himself that he goes through. We hope you had as much fun exploring the world of Ultraman Rising as we did, and consider watching this movie. So if you like what you heard today, make sure you listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you stream your podcast. Listen to all of our J-Mill for Real podcasts. And hit us up on social media, like, subscribe, and follow. Once again, this was Exploring Anime with Friends. Let's explore together. And now for a word from our sponsors. Binbuster. Live from YouTube, it's Tuesday night, the call sign of the Binbuster YouTube channel. Once you hear this, you know you're about to embark on a journey through pop culture, movies, comics, and more. Buckle up and enjoy the ride every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. EST. Poppin' Cinema with Joe Mama and friends. Showcasing the power of cinema, join Joe Mama as he introduces different friends each week to a movie they have not seen before, popping their cinematic cherry as they talk about the movie they just watched every Tuesday at midnight.